Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel dedicated to Manchester United. This is your preview for the game against Fulham in the FA Cup, and it's the quarterfinals, baby. Any other season, campaign, you'd probably consider United heavy favourites against Fulham, but Fulham have actually been decent this season, not been bad under Marco Silva. So still a very tough fixture ahead, another potential trophy for Eric Ten Hag's cabinet. Do we believe as fans we can do this? Let's see what the lads think. We've got Shreyas and Sam on the show today. Again, not going to ask you how you feeling about the game. What I'm actually going to ask you lads is, what is your favourite FA Cup moment?
Ooh, tough. Very, very tough. There's been a lot, hasn't there? There's been a lot of moments where I stand out. Giggsy goal stands out to me. Yeah. FA Cup, that stands out. As a good memory. Bad memory, do you remember the final with Arsenal where Ruud van Nistelrooy missed the penalty and then they were all like shoving him and stuff, and that stands out to me. I remember that one. The Lingard goal as well, that stands out.
And after Chris Smalling gets sent as well,
so they all stand out to me.
They're his little dance on the side.
There are a couple of memories that stand out to me in the FA Cup.
Shreyas, you got any yourself, or are you not like are you not a cup man? Are you more intrigued in the Champions League and the Premier League kind of thing?
The thing is, ever since I've started following United, the only time we've had a good moment in the FA Cup has come from Jesse Lingard when we won it. But before that, the only two instances where I've seen clips, one definitely has been of Ryan Giggs, and I think one was definitely that Van Nistelrooy miss. But except that, I think Jesse Lingard one, because in recent history that's been one of the I think better moments that we've had in FA Cup history. Because I think before that, I think under Oli we made it to the semis where we lost to Chelsea during lockdown. So for me that was a bad moment in the FA Cup.
Well, we're not going to discuss bad moments, only positivity on it. And that finish from Lingard was absolutely unbelievable. Probably the best thing he's ever done at United, if we're being completely honest. But there's a few memories. I like the one Chivy brought up last time we talked about the FA Cup, was Martial against Everton. And the 92nd minute, I think it was, where he just drives through. I think it was like a 1-2 with Herrera, maybe Mata. And then we go through to the final. And then that's when we won it. Was it that when we won it? I think that was the same campaign we won it, I'm pretty sure.
That Louis van Gaal?
Anyway, so, yeah. Correct. Before we get stuck into the preview, guys, please click that subscribe button to support the channel. If you want to become a Real Red Ultra, you can click that join button next to the notification bell, and in return, you'll get exclusive content, a badge next to your name, and maybe a chance to feature on the show. Let's see what happens with that. Shreyas have been live from 3:30 for Team News for the watch along, so maybe a little bit later for the watch along. So make sure you jump in the chat and throw him some questions. Very exciting tie, quarterfinal FA Cup. Doesn't get much better than that when you start getting to the late stages of the competition. Let's start this off with a preview then, with a preview. No,
this is the
with
preview.
A warm up. No, this is the preview, and we're going to start off with a warm up. Name 3 players who played for Manchester United and Fulham.
Pereira, Van der Sar. Shit. Now I'm stuck. I'm struggling now. Saha.
Correct.
There you go.
Can you name any more?
Oh,
any more? I mentioned the centre back before who got sent off.
Oh, Smalling. Yeah, we bought him from Fulham, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had a certain striker with a glue-like touch.
Berbatov.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And then, did you mention Twanzebe before?
Did he play for Fulham?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. No.
Oh, not Twanzebe. It was what's his name? Oh, Fosu-Mensah. Timothy Fosu-Mensah.
I didn't know he played for Fulham as well. I didn't know he played for Fulham. So
yeah,
wouldn't have got that one.
Van der Sar has been a standout one there, keeper. How many times have Manchester United won the FA Cup?
12.
Yeah, bang on. I think Arsenal have the most, don't they? 14. And we're 2 behind them. So maybe we can, get 1 behind them by the end of this season. Who is the all-time top scorer in the FA Cup?
Oh.
I wouldn't expect you to get this, but I'll give you a clue. It's an older player, and it's off a team we don't like.
Oh, it's a Scouser. Yeah.
But think older, not like...
older. Okay. I mean, like past before Michael Owen, like before then. Oh God.
Yeah, I don't have a clue then.
I don't know.
I wouldn't even have thought, mate.
Yeah.
Ian Rush.
Ian Rush. Okay.
Yeah, 40 goals in the FA Cup. Who's second, do you reckon? English midfielder.
Another older player?
Goal scoring midfielder.
Giggs? Giggs?
Lampard second, yeah. 27 goals. And then an English striker who's just below him got a massive record.
Wayne Rooney?
Nope.
Oh. Alan Shearer?
Yeah, Alan Shearer. So it's Ian Rush with 40 goals, Frank Lampard with 27, and Alan Shearer with 25. So that is the warm-up complete. We're going to chat about the game ahead tomorrow afternoon. We are still competing on all fronts in every single competition. Feels mental at this point because games are just coming thick and fast. It feels like 2 games every day.
Yeah.
The cog has continued to turn. The next stop is Fulham at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. Now, Fulham have been great for the most of the season under Marco Silva, Mitrovic being their main threat, but the goals have dried up recently for him. He's still on 11 goals, I think it was. Andreas Pereira is a player we had completely written off and we had joking about numerous times, Sam, during the summer, especially talking about pre-season, Pirlo and all that kind of stuff. And he's actually carried that into the season with him. He's actually been all right and been a really important player. However, defensively, they haven't been great of late. They've been great all season, and the past couple of weeks, which we're going to discuss in a second, they've not been great. They've been leaking goals, and that was shown in the game against Brentford and the game against Arsenal, where they conceded 6 goals in total. In the FA Cup, the current run, they've beaten Leeds, Sunderland, and Hull to get where they are. So it's not exactly the toughest of runs either, but they're still a very fit side with quality players. One player to watch, Manor Solomon, I think is how you pronounce it. Is one to watch for them. He's on a bit of a hot streak at the minute. He's got 4 goals in 9 games, but only 2 starts, and most of his goals have come off the bench as well. So, yeah, for United, we're not looking too bad since that big loss to Liverpool, which we don't want to mention anymore. So you can imagine Ten Hag's going to want to go strong again in this competition. We know what he does. The first question, Sam, that pops into my mind straight away is, how do we feel about the lack of rotation? Bruno Fernandes has played the most minutes of any player in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, including goalkeepers, 3,751 minutes, which is just mental. Casemiro is suspended. Anthony's touch and goal. Martial's still not ready. Rashford's going to need a rest at some point. So just give us your thoughts on that.
I think Bruno's is a special case, isn't he? He's one of those players that just plays and plays and plays, and he just doesn't, touch wood, doesn't seem to get injured, doesn't seem to tire that much, and just seems to keep going. So I think Bruno's just in that bracket by himself. I don't think there's many players who can do that, who can just play and play and play and not have any effect and not see any significant dip in form. I'm sure he is tired, but it's not evident on the pitch that often. Like, you could see when Rashford was injured and stuff, you could see it. Yeah. You could feel it in him. Like, he couldn't run properly. And Bruno, you don't see it. So if he is tired, he's not showing it that well. So I think Bruno's just in one of those brackets where he can just play and play and play, and it's fine. Like, I'm trying to think of another example of a player who never gets injured and just plays consistently, like no matter what.
It's hard to find him, to be honest, in this climate with the way the Premier games we play.
Ji-sung Park was one of those players, wasn't he?
Yeah, very robust.
Never injured, always fit, always ready to go. Never gets tired. Like, you have those players out there sometimes. Obviously, other players like Casemiro is going to be out now, which sucks for us because we don't have a significant quality backup but we don't really have a backup DM, to be honest with you, do we? Like, there's not a DM in our squad apart from Casemiro. Scott McTominay has some qualities. Fred has some qualities, but nothing completely like that. Sabitza's brand new to the team. Can he fill in? Remains to be seen. We have to sort of we're going to have to experiment. We're going to have to find somebody to do it because we need next 4 games. So that's a worry. And yeah, Rashford is like the statue Atlas carrying the stone. You know, they have like the massive statue carrying the globe. That's what Rashford's doing to this team at the minute in terms of goals. because he's the only one scoring. Vegas is not scoring. Anthony will pop up with an occasional one. Garnacho's now out of the team, and Sancho's not scoring. Bruno's not scoring. Vegas is definitely not scoring. So he's carrying the weight of this team. So he will feel an effect of that at some point. The goals will dry up, or he will get injured, or he'll get tired. Something will happen. And you saw what Ollie did to him. He played him into the ground, didn't he? Like when he had that fractured spine, and he played him anyway against Wolves, and he ended up getting taken off, and then he was out for fucking ages. So it's just like, but we don't have the squad depth to rotate. We don't have it, because your replacement for Rashford probably would have been Garnacho, wouldn't it? And he's now not available. You don't have a replacement for Casemiro. Do you replace
Bruno?
For Bruno, it would have been Ericsson or Donny. They're both out. So you're struggling. So you kind of in a position where you just have to play them because you have nobody else. So that's where we're at. Luckily, we've got a 2-week international break coming up. But you think...
Well, depending on how you look at it, Sam, lucky or unlucky. I fucking hate international break.
I hate him as well, personally. But, like... Yeah. I wish Ten Hag would do a Fergie and just be like, oh yeah, that player's injured, he's injured, he can't go, they're all injured, and they pick up Knox and we just fucking rest him for 2 weeks. I wish he would do that, but I don't think that's going to happen personally. So yeah.
It's very interesting. Aaron in the chat saying, my back is broken, Mike Tyson voice, whatever. I don't think I get the reference.
My back is broken.
I'm not seeing it. We've got Vincent Bullock in the chat as well. Hello to Vincent. It's been a regular for ages. Really appreciate yourself. Saying, hi guys, don't forget it's Mother's Day tomorrow. I know the game is more important, but I just thought I'd give you a heads up. You know what? Thank you for that, because I actually forgot. So thank you for the heads up. I'll address that later on in the day.
I'm going to the game, so I will be missing Mother's Day.
Is that what it is? Yeah. So just send a voice note or something. We'll be all right. Shreyas, back to the game. Yeah. What can we do to hurt them, do you think? Where can we get them? Is there any specific player you would deploy to hurt them? Where are they vulnerable?
I think considering we're playing against Fulham, I think we can definitely, take advantage of having more possession of the ball. They're not really a side that, look to go, go toe to toe with their opponent, especially, when they come up against big teams like us. I think, like you mentioned, they've been leaking a lot of goals at the moment. So I think once we move into the final third, we need to be sharper. I think we need to be, I think in the game against Betis, there were so many instances that, the moment we moved into the final third, we were so sloppy, we were giving up possession, and we were just not able to, make the most of the opportunities that were coming our way. And against Fulham, I wouldn't want us to take that sort of, chance wherein, we create like 3 to 4 really great chances, but we aren't really able to convert any of them, because Fulham are a team which, if they score a goal or two, they're just going to sit back for the entire game. They're not really going to come out, because that's not their area of expertise. Their area of expertise is to, get an early goal and then just sit back and defend. So I think for us, I think the best thing to do would be to approach the game aggressively, from the first minute, not giving a chance to, actually let Fulham settle into the game, disrupt their rhythm, because the moment you disrupt their rhythm, that's when it gets really, really tough for them. And their defense is really weak. I think Palhinha is the only one who's holding down that midfield completely, because if you're able to like completely swarm Palhinha, their midfield breaks apart. So
isn't he injured at the minute? Am I right in saying
no, he's
that?
back. He's back.
Oh,
he's back.
Yeah. Okay.
And
that's not great, is it?
Exactly. So I think we definitely need to swamp Palhinha tomorrow, because if Palhinha gets the area to play and the space to play, he's gonna give Scott McTominay big headache, a really big headache. And I wouldn't want to go into a midfield battle with McTominay and Palhinha being put up against each other. So that I think we definitely need to approach the game very aggressively tomorrow, because we've seen what happens when we don't do that and teams are able to settle into the game. And when we played, I think we've played Fulham once in the season already, and it took Garnacho to score in the final minute of the game for us to get 3 points. It was a really neck to neck game, and in that game as well, we created good opportunities, but we didn't take them. we allowed Fulham to actually, grow into the game, and they got back and scored a goal. So I think that's one thing we can avoid, because the moment I think against teams like Fulham, the moment you get the early goal, they just start to open up a lot more. Spaces start to generate a lot more, and that's where, players like Rashford can actually cause them, a lot of trouble.
Yeah, 100%. Just on Fulham specifically, Sam, is there anything that worries you? Here's the thing I never thought I'd be saying, but someone like Andreas Pereira or anyone like that worries you on their team. Let's say you're the manager in the dressing room tomorrow. You're like, right, lads, you got to watch out for this. You got to watch out for this.
Yeah. Now, comment from Aaron. I was going to go to the game, but it's not worth being in the doghouse with the missus for this one. Yeah, good point, Aaron. Good point. Yeah, there's a couple of players that are like are quite decent for Fulham. Like obviously we mentioned Mitrovic, but the goals have dried up. He's been a bit injury prone, so is he going to play? If he does play, how fit is he going to be? How firing is going to be? Obviously, at United at Old Trafford, he'll score a worldie, won't he? Which is always the case.
I've got that feeling as well.
Yeah. So that's the thing, and I think Andreas Pereira. I think the pressure, the stature, and the expected level at Manchester United was just too much for him. Like, I don't think he dealt with the pressure and the expectation well. He's gone to Fulham, and I think this is his level. That sort of pressure, that kind of level of a team, mid-table to pushing into European places. I think that's his level. And we saw, like, the kid's got talent. Like, he showed it in pre-season consistently. Every year, like you said, we joked about it. He'd score absolute fantastic worldies every pre-season, and you just be like, what? How can he not do this every season? Like every pre-season, and he just can't. He couldn't bring it into the season. So I think he's found his level, and he's been really effective for Fulham, and I think that it's been great. I think I'm glad for him. Palhinha is a player I really, really admire, and I think we could do a lot worse than going to the transfer market and get him in the summer as a backup for Casemiro. I know he's a bit older. I think he's 27, Palhinha, but I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's a really, really good player. So I think we could do a lot worse than go and get him. And then you've got really good sort of defense sort of set as well. Tim Ream's been playing really, really well for them. Yeah, he seems like they're sort of almost like a leader type thing. He sort of leads by example, and he's proper. He's a bit older as well, isn't he? He's like 33 or something, or 32. He's quite old. Yeah. So, but he's he's full of character, and the keeper's not bad either. Like I don't think the keeper's a bad keeper either. So they've got players that will cause you issues and cause you problems. I think if the Fulham that have been the past couple of matches where they're struggling to score show up, I think we'll be all right. But if Mitrovic decides, and it will happen against United normally, if he decides he's going to show up and start scoring, we might be in for a bit of a game, a bit of trouble. But if they show up in the form they've been the last couple of games, I think we'll be all right. But it never goes that way for United at Old Trafford, does it? We always seem to go behind at Old Trafford before we start playing. Happened against West Ham, happened against Betis. So I've got full confidence that we'll win, but it's just it's how we're going to do it and which sort of Fulham shows up in the game.
Well, in fairness to Fulham, you don't really get where you are in the league by playing shit, do you? No. You know what I mean? Like they've really overachieved in terms of what they've done. Even still now, I think the 9th, just in front of Chelsea. So
Brentford
it's still been
Fulham, Brentford, and Brighton have all
been they've been the three that have really overachieved. Especially when you consider some of the teams like we were talking about. I think West Ham in the relegation spots, Wolves are near there. Like you just would have thought it after last season. It just goes to show how competitive the Premier League actually is. Discussing a couple of Fulham players there. I want to bring it back again to United, Shreyas. We obviously already played Fulham once before. We touched on that before. Garnacho was the difference in that game. Yeah. Can your boy Facundo Palestra? I want to do his full name, but I don't know his middle name.
I bet Shreyas knows it. I bet.
Yeah, I know his cat's name.
Yeah.
Can Facundo Palestra have a similar impact on this game, Shreyas?
I think he definitely can. I think against Betis as well, when he got his first start, I think he looked really good. I think he looked really lively on that right wing, and I think once again, like you mentioned before as well, Garnacho and as well as Pelistri, these players don't really hesitate in taking defenders on. They actually, like to beat the defender in front of them, get in behind, and go for the pass or go for goal. And that's one thing where we thought that these kind of qualities we'll be seeing a lot of it from Anthony as well as Sancho, and that's one area where they've actually lacked. Just running at defenders, causing some troubles, creating spaces. And right now, Pelistri and as well as Garnacho are doing a really, really great job in that department. Now that Garnacho is out and hopefully he comes back really really soon, uh, I think Pelistri is the number one in line on the bench to actually start, because um, Anthony is a very unpredictable player, I would say. Like, he can have a really, really bad game, but he just needs that area around the box and he can score a really great goal. But overall, his game can be a bit frustrating at times. Except that I think Sancho, I think he's still finding himself in that squad, whether he's going to be continuing as a number 10, whether he's going to be continuing as a winger. I think there are still a lot of areas with Ten Hag that Ten Hag needs to explore with Jadon Sancho. And except that, I think we just I mean, Rashford is irreplaceable in that squad. He's the only person who provides us with edge in that attack. But except that, we're just left with Langa. And uh, I think if you compare it with the conditions at United and right now, I think Pelistri can step up. I think he's got the quality for stepping up as well. And I think if we play the way we played against Betis in the first leg, like if we are able to attack them aggressively from the first minute, we are able to take our chances. I think Pelistri can do one hell of a job. I think it just comes down to the fact as to how we actually approach the game tomorrow. Because if it is going to be a game where we are just if it's going to be an end-to-end game, or where we're just going to be really really sloppy while linking the attack as well as the midfield, I think we could be seeing a very rough performance from our forwards. But hopefully, we are able to get by it. Hopefully, not having Casemiro in the squad wouldn't affect us that much in that game, because we have got a lot of tough games coming up. And hopefully, if Pelistri is able to step up, it provides some much needed competition for Anthony on that right wing position. Because right now, except for Anthony, we don't really have an out and out right winger who's been playing or getting consistent minutes of that right hand flank.
Well, this is an interesting topic. I wanted to just throw it to you very quick because I was speaking about it last night when I did the solo show and I put it out as a clip. In terms of like the position of our wingers now, where would you categorize them amongst like the current form that they're in?
Yeah.
So Sam, I'll go with you first. Just give me the wingers that we have in our ranks. Where in form we're talking about, not talking about overall talent because we know certain players will be there, but where would you rank him for you?
Rashford's number one, obviously.
Of course,
he's the only one scoring goals. I think Garnacho's pushed his way into number two, arguably.
Yeah,
he's been really important off the bench. He's made a couple of good starts, scored some important goals. So I'd argue he was number two. I think number three I think over the recent weeks it's probably a toss up between Anthony and Pelistri. I'd probably edge Anthony just ahead because Anthony's been used more by Ten Hag in the season. But I think Pelestri's right up behind him and he's pushing him like hard for that spot. And then you probably put Bruno and Sancho in the same bracket because Bruno's played there a lot on that right hand side and he's played on the left hand side as well. So you could chuck Bruno in there even though he's a 10, and then Sancho behind him, and then Langa's probably at the bottom of the pile, isn't he? Sadly, just not getting game time, not getting minutes. Rumors of him going out on loan in the summer. Personally, I think we should sell him because I just don't think he's United quality. But if Ten Hag thinks he sees something in him and he thinks he'll be better by being served by going on loan, then so be it.
A couple of lads are weighing in with this as well. Aaron's put Rashford, Antony, Garnacho, Pelistri, Sancho, Elanga. Chivy's come in and said Rashford, Antony, Garnacho, Sancho, and Pelistri. I get the point where you're coming from because looking at it as a pecking order. But I'm talking about what you've seen from him. I feel like I've seen more from Garnacho than Antony.
Yeah.
Like I've been more impressed. How do you see it, Shreyas?
Yeah, I think I'll go with something similar, like on the basis of the output on the pitch. In recent weeks, I think Rashford is definitely number one. Then I would put Garnacho because I think the moment Garnacho comes on, things just start happening.
Yeah.
And the way he's performed in pressure situations, he's got clutch goals, he's got some really great assists, especially, the way he played against City when he came on. I think it just showed that, what kind of talent and what kind of composure he has at such a young age to be thrown into a game against City where you're drawing and you need a goal to win. And the way he went in with that cross to Rashford, um, I think definitely for me, he's number two, then Anthony, then Pelistri, and then Elanga. But I
Yeah.
think right now Anthony is, in a really rough position because I think a lot of fans have been really patient with him, and a massive part of our fan base has protected him a lot from all the criticism. But I think there will come a point where people are, gonna get start, they're gonna start getting frustrated with him. They'll look to, actually want more, considering the price we actually paid for him, which isn't really his fault, but it does come into the picture eventually if he
Mm.
doesn't start performing well.
He's also
So
he's also
yeah.
the same age as Palestri. Like he's the
Yeah,
same age, and he's just not giving enough. Like yeah, he scored important
yeah,
goals because he's got a hell of a left foot, but in terms of assists, passing for the team, creating opportunities, creating chances, he's not done any of that. Like he hasn't. Like
No.
I think he's what is his expected assist rate like
Oh, it's,
0.08 or something like ridiculous,
yeah.
which is like an assist every 20 games. Like you've got to be better, especially as a Manchester United winger. You have to provide more than just
yeah,
a wand of a left foot. And like
Mm.
3 times, like he'll probably score like what 2 out of 10 of them, 3 out of 10 of them. The rest of the time, it's going over the bar, it's going wide, or the keeper's
yeah.
grabbing hold of it. So
I
he
think
has
I
to
think
do
he's
more.
only Yeah, I think he's only, for me up until now, like taking the goals and assists out of the picture. The only one complete game that Anthony has had up until now has been against Tottenham when we beat them 2-0 at Old
Yeah.
Trafford. Like that was the game where you could actually, see Anthony running at defenders. He was actually putting in a lot more crosses than he usually does. And right now that crossing ability and, the trickery he has while actually going past defenders, that is actually lacking from his game right now.
Yeah. I'd be pretty confident in saying you ask Premier League defenders who they'd rather play up against. They'd rather play up against Garnacho or Anthony. I think they'd say Anthony
Yeah.
every day.
You know
of the
what
week.
he's going to do.
And
You know what he's going to do.
yeah,
Cut on his
yeah,
left,
Yeah.
shoot. So just
yeah.
show
And
it.
some people may,
Just show him onto his right every time. Just show him onto his right because you know he's not going to use that right foot. You know he's not going to do anything with it. So just show him onto his right. It's dead easy.
yeah. Yeah, I do agree with a couple of Aaron's comments. Says Anthony scored more important goals for me. He
Yeah,
has
he
scored
definitely
important goals.
has.
Barcelona, Arsenal, there's a few. But Garnacho scored the winner against Fulham. Garnacho got the assist against Manchester City in the derby
Yeah.
for Rashford when we scored the winner. Like Garnacho was equally put in important goals. He scored in Sociedad as well away when we needed, I think it was 2 goals in order to think.
He creates a different atmosphere and a different attitude in the team when Garnacho comes in.
Oh, he
Like
definitely does.
when you got an Anthony or say a Sancho in, they're happy to just like have the ball, hold on to it, not really do much with it. Garnacho gets the ball, his first thought is I'm running at that fullback and I'm
Yeah,
gonna have a go
yeah.
at him. And it changes the whole dynamic. Like, you've been in the ground, Nick. Like when Garnacho gets to the ball, everybody's off of the feet. Nobody's doing that. When
Yeah.
Anthony's on the ball, they don't do that. Until he cuts
Because
in
they
on
know.
until he cuts onto his
I
left,
think-
nobody gets up.
Yeah, yeah. I think he scored a really great goal against West Ham as well. Like, when he just curled it into the bottom right-hand corner.
90th
Very
minute,
good
like
goal.
yeah. Scored some massive goals, absolutely. And that's the context. We're not saying they're definitely better players. We're
Yeah.
just saying on form right now, we look at the pathways that both kind of the wingers are creating. I think there's definitely shouts. And it's not a full-gone conclusion that they should be starting, in my personal opinion. And I think
also with Anthony, it's his first 6-7 months in the league, in this team, with teammates.
Yeah.
So he gets a pass. He gets a pass to bed in, to develop, stuff like that. When you look at people like Sancho, that's a different question there. You've got to start questioning that because he's had 3 seasons and he's still not showing anything. Garnacho, you got to give him a pass because he's 17, 18 years old. You've got to give him the opportunity to develop. So it's not his thing. Sancho, Rashford, you've got to start questioning them. And Rashford stepped up. Sancho hasn't.
yeah, it's definitely a discussion point. Vincent Bullock saying Garnacho just went straight ahead and humiliates the other team's players, and they can't stand how good the kid is. Yeah, absolutely. He's got talent in abundance, Garnacho.
Yeah.
I want to bring it. We could talk about this for ages, I'm sure, but I want to bring it back to the FA Cup a little bit. We put a poll out at the start of the show to see who people think. That I'm not even wording that right. If people think United will win the FA Cup, 92%. We've had 20 odd votes, I think it is. 25 votes, 92% said yeah, and 8% said no. So there's a lot of positivity floating about the fan base at the minute, which is nice to see. Which leads me to my next question. Our potential opponents in the semi-final could be Man City versus Burnley. You've got Sheffield versus Blackburn, Brighton versus Grimsby. So I know what the obvious ones are going to be like. Oh, well, we don't want to play them. I get it. But who do you fancy out of them ties? How do you see them draws playing out as well, out of the teams that are playing against each other?
We're going to get City, aren't we?
I think so. Yeah, that's my. I think we are.
We're going to get City. Like, I know, I can see it happening. Like they're looking at the FA Cup and they're like, we need a smaller team in the final. Let's put the two Manchester clubs together. One of them knock the other one out, and then you've got a big team versus a small team in the final. I think that's how it's going to go. Personally, I think we all want a Blackburn, don't we? We all want a Grimsby because it's a nice, easy semi-final. Like 2 legs at Wembley. I think you can get the job done in the first leg. Yeah. You say Brighton are in there?
Yeah, Brighton against Grimsby. That's
Brighton are a problem. That is a problem team. They have got some seriously good players in that team, and they're playing well under De Zerbi. Mitoma, Solly March. Who's the other guy who was just been...
McAllister's doing really well for him as well.
Yeah, like, they've got some really good players in there, and they could definitely cause an upset. Like if we got Brighton, I would be 50-50 on whether we get through that tie, because I think they could definitely do a job and beat us. I think when it's United City, it gets a little different, doesn't it? Like form thing goes out the window. United City just come, like, sometimes it just matters who wants it more, the feel of the crowd, etc. So yeah, it's a different. Brighton are a problem. I want to avoid Brighton at all costs. Hopefully they get knocked out. And we don't get them in the final. They avoid Brighton.
I don't think Grimsby are going to be knocking them out.
No, but you never know. You never know. That's the FA Cup. It's the FA Cup. So yeah, I'll take a Blackburn. I'll take a Grimsby. But we're probably going to get City, aren't we? Let's face it.
How crazy is that, by the way? Like Liverpool aren't in it, Chelsea aren't in it, Tottenham aren't in it. You got Grimsby, Sheffield, Blackburn. Like, you think if
Grimsby beat Tottenham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Which is crazy. It's absolutely
Spurs,
crazy.
Though, Spurs.
Yeah. Tottenham doing Tottenham things. So yeah, very quickly, we think Man City will beat Burnley. Yeah. Sheffield versus Blackburn. I don't expect you to watch a lot of the Championship, but I think Sheffield are second in the Championship at the minute.
I thought Middlesbrough was second.
No. Middlesbrough are higher. Are doing well under them, but they're not second. I think it's Burnley, then Sheffield, United second.
Right. Yeah, I'd say Sheffield over Blackburn.
Yeah.
Sheffield over Blackburn. Brighton beats Grimsby, then United beat Fulham, right? So then you've got a semi-final. It could be Brighton, Sheffield, or Man City. But imagine if Burnley did a madness with company over Man City. We've already beaten Burnley this season in the Carabao Cup as well.
Yeah.
So you think that's pretty much
good team though.
There.
Like they're playing well. Like Burnley, Vincent Company's got them playing well.
Yeah. Got them playing like the opposite to what you'd associate Burnley with.
Aaron's got a question, just to go back to Sancho. How much longer of a pass does Sancho get? I hope he turns it around. At what point do we decide it's just not working?
It's weird, isn't it? It is a weird one. The thing is with Jadon Sancho, I don't want to spend too long on this because we've got a few other bits we're getting. The thing is about Jadon Sancho is, I don't think he's got the physicality to deal with the Premier League. Like, I look at him on the wing, he hasn't got the pace to beat a man. He hasn't got the strength to beat a man. And he needs other players moving around him. I think he needs a specific system in order for him to flourish. I do. I don't like him as a 10. I've seen him have moments as a 10 when he came on against Leicester, looked good. But so his ball retention and he hasn't got that eye of the needle pass. He's good at link up, but he hasn't got enough for me. To be honest, I don't think
it's like Donny, isn't he? He hasn't got the physicality. He hasn't got the mentality for the Premier League. You have to have something different. I think he's in a similar boat to Donny. Talented player, really, really good, but the Premier League's probably not the place for them.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. Agree with that, Shreyas? Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, I would say that Sancho has I think he has until the rest of the season to actually prove a lot of people wrong about him and probably make case for himself to be at the club, because uh, the moment we get new owners, the moment we get new funding, I think Ten Hag will be looking to actually make changes into the squad. I've seen him at Ajax that the moment he sees that even though a player has talent but he's not working out, he doesn't hesitate in shipping them off to another club and get a replacement. So if he does think that Sancho isn't working out, if Sancho isn't producing the games and the plays that he actually wants him to, then probably we could be see Sancho getting shipped out soon. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but Ten Hag is very ruthless when it comes to making decisions about his squad.
I just think Ten Hag's great at unlocking talent, and he's obviously sent him off to that individual program to get something out of him. He's come back, and is it a case of patience, or like do we wait until next season and then it's like 3 seasons? Like,
I
it's
would
a tough
say,
one, isn't it?
I'd say he gets next season, and then that's it. If he doesn't perform next season, I think he has to go. He has to go.
Yeah, agreed. Just a quick. I always do a head-to-head update and injuries as well. I'll do this very quickly for you. So, I was looking before. Manchester United are unbeaten in their last 15 meetings with Fulham in all competitions. Fulham have won in just one of their last 25 away matches against United in all competitions. So that's looking pretty promising for us. And we've got a fantastic record at Old Trafford as well. A quick update on injuries and absences. Aside from the obvious, you've got Martial still not available. He's training, but still not available. I feel like I say that every week at the minute. Eriksen's back sooner than Ten Hag thought, which is very good news. He's going to be back before his initial kind of deadline. So it'd be good to see him back on the pitch. I think we need him. Anthony's touch and go. I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard any more on that or seen any more on that.
I think Ten Hag said we'll have to wait and see like the day of the game. So don't know.
God knows what's happening with that. That's another one as well. Anthony's picked up a few. I've noticed that a few times. Like misses a couple of games here and there. And then this is obviously the first start of Casemiro's suspension of his 4 games, I think it is. So he won't be available, and Garnacho's out for several weeks as well. So we're getting thinner and thinner. It seems week by week, but we move. Right, let's do some quick fire questions. Will we score more than 1 goal?
No.
Will Sabi start? It's a bit so.
I want to say yes, but I don't think he will.
I don't think so. Yeah, even I don't think so.
Will Bruno Fernandes score?
No.
No.
One player you would bring in to this, and not Palestra. You're not allowed to say Palestra.
I'd bring Sabitzer in, but he's not gonna do it.
Yeah, same. I don't want to see McFred playing together again.
Nope.
Yeah, likewise. I think you speak for all United fans when you say that. Will we win this trophy, lads?
I think we've got a fair shot. Yeah.
I think if we're gonna drop one, either the Europa League or the FA Cup, I'd rather win the Europa League. But
yeah, same.
I think if we're gonna drop a trophy, this would probably be the one that we're gonna drop. But
yeah,
I could easily see Ten Hag pulling some out of the bag. We end up in a final in this one. I could easily see it because I think he's just that good. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Sorry,
Aaron's comment. Yeah, I've just seen it. Let's put that on the screen for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy that. Well, absolute gold. Prediction for man of the match?
Pelistri.
Oh, for God's sake.
We'll have to get him security when you come over to Manchester.
Yeah.
Stalking him. Let's go with Rashford. I don't believe it myself.
You said Palestra. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You said Palestra, didn't you, Shay? I was just double checking. Yeah, Palestra.
Yeah. Answer to every question.
If he doesn't start tomorrow, I'll have to sleep on stream.
Yeah. I think he's got a good chance, in fairness. Yeah. I think he has. If Anthony's not going to be there, Garnacho's fucked. Who else is going to start there?
It's him or Sancho, isn't it? Like, it's got to be
That's it. And I can't remember the last time I saw Sancho on the right wing, to be honest. Long time ago. Yeah. With that in mind, let's do the predicted 11. Sam, do you want to kick us off?
Oh, God. I don't even know. Like I'm struggling to pick this. I think the back line picks itself. I think it's gonna be De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Lisandro, Shaw. I think that's definitely gonna be the back five. The midfield is tricky, man. I really don't know. I think you might throw a curveball in there. I think we might see Lindelof in DM, and I think we see Fred and Bruno, and then I think Rashford's on the left. I think Pellistri does get that right wing slot because I don't know if Anthony's going to be fit, and then Weghorst up front.
Very interesting. Shreyas, do you have a slightly different pick to that?
Yeah, I think it will be a similar lineup. I think definitely the back five picks itself. Lindelof probably as a DM. I don't think he'll go with a McFred midfield. I think Ten Hag knows that it doesn't work well, especially the kind of football that he plays with. So Lindelof at DM. I think Fred in the 8, Bruno in the 10, and then Rashford, Pellistri, and Weghorst. But you never know. Probably he could play Bruno off the left, Weghorst in the 10, and Rashford up top.
Both going for a curveball, yeah. Lindelof at the end.
Yeah.
I would love to see Sabitzer play. I really would. Like, if I was picking a team, I would pick Sabitzer.
Because you're going predictive.
Because he's just come back recently, and he got how many minutes against Betis? Like 20?
Yeah. 25, 20, yeah.
28. So I don't know if he's 100% fit. So I don't think he starts him.
Interesting. I've gone with De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Lisandro, Shaw, Fred, Sabitzer, Bruno, Pellistri, Weghorst, and Rashford. That's what I've gone for. And I appreciate the comment that you're saying about Sabitzer. Like, he has just come back, so he might not do. There might be a Lisandro at DM. Fuck knows. You don't know at this point. It's a bit mad. Chopping and changing.
He could just go. We could put Luke Shaw in centre back, Malacia off the left, and then Lisandro at DM.
Likewise, could be a curveball anywhere on the team, if we're being completely honest. Weghorst is a 10, Bruno on the right. Like, you just don't know. So, very interesting. Score predictions, Sam, and goal scorers, please.
1-0, Marcus Rashford.
Okay. I think that could become reality. Shreyas?
I think 2-1. And I think Rashford and Pellistri score.
Yeah. 2-1. Who scores for Fulham, if you think they're going to score? Out of curiosity.
I think Andreas Pereira.
Oh, God.
Andreas Pereira.
Yeah. Couldn't score at Old Trafford for us, but he comes and scores for Fulham. Fucking hell.
Aaron saying Phil Jones curveball. He's presenting now, isn't he? I don't think he's in the squad.
He's not even allowed at Old Trafford anymore, is he? Like, he got his locker taken away. So,
no, poor Phil. You can't go a day on this channel, can we, without mentioning Phil Jones?
Yeah.
It seems to happen every single show.
Until he leaves the club, we're gonna have to keep bringing him up.
We'll give him a good goodbye.
He outlived the Glazers.
I know, crazy.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Wow.
I've gone with 2-1, Rashford and Luke Shaw to score.
Nice.
And Pereira to score for Fulham, I think, as well. You just know it. It's just written in the stars, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think we'll win. Rashford winner, probably.
Nice.
That concludes the preview for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Please click that subscribe button and smash a like at the video. Like I said at the start of the video, if you want to join the members club, you can do that by clicking the join button next to the bell. You'll receive exclusive content. Oh, I can't speak. My brain today. Exclusive content, a badge next to your name, and a chance to feature on the show. All for the price of a Peroni on draft.
Nice.
Make sure you follow us on social media. All the handles are at the bottom of the graphic. And like I said as well, Shreyas will be live for the watch along tomorrow from 3:30 or maybe a little bit later with team news. Be sure to join him, get in the chat, ask him some questions. And let's hope we progress through to the semi-finals, because it's looking interesting the way the matches are going. And have a great weekend, everyone. Cheers for coming on, lads.
Should we let the cat out of the bag? What you're doing tomorrow, Nick?
If you want to let them, go for it.
What I want people to do tomorrow, obviously you need to tune into this channel because Shreyas is going to be here. So what you need to do, one tab open, Real Reds Talk. Make sure you got Shreyas, you're watching there. Our very own Nick is going to be on Stretford Paddock Watch Along tomorrow, live in the studio. So get your other tab open and then have Nick open with there. So you've got two tabs open, so you can watch both, and then you can switch between them. Don't go one to the other. Just have 2 tabs open. Just so, yeah. So go check Nick out at Stretford Paddock. Very generous of Jay to invite. He actually invited us both on, me and Nick, but I am going to the game, so I am unfortunately not be able to go. But Nick will be there representing Real Reds. So yeah, go check it out.
Absolutely. Very excited. Very, very excited. So can't wait for that. And yeah, let's just hope we get the result tomorrow. It's going to be fun. We'll see you on the next one, guys, I suppose. Take care of yourselves. Have a nice weekend. Peace.
See ya.